Okay, my name's Andrew Cowan. I teach the prose fiction MA, and it's my great pleasure and great privilege to introduce this year's Creative Writing Anthology. It was my great privilege and pleasure to do the same last year, and I remember in all the thanks I was doling out, I forgot to mention Rachel Hall, who is the crucial person in the production of the annual anthology last year and for several years previous to last year and this year. So this year I'll begin by thanking Rachel Hall for her contribution. Rachel oversees the student editorial committee which produces the anthology, which has always been a student-produced anthology. The very first one was the idea of 2 students, and ever since it's largely been produced by students, edited by students, and overseen recently by Rachel. The students have included inside several acknowledgements, any number of acknowledgements, so I won't repeat their thanks, except to say thanks to my colleagues on the various strands. So there's Val Taylor and Catherine Hughes, George Surtees, Denise Riley, Lavinia Greenlaw, Treza Azapali, Giles Foden, and also people who mark for us: Rebecca Stott, Amit Chowdhury, Jean McNeil. So I'd like to thank my colleagues, and also crucially Nathan Hamilton this year, who from Box Publishing, who's put this together and brought tremendous energy to it and imagination. Nathan this morning sent me an email with the running list. It begins, Andrew Cowan, intro, isn't it all marvellous? And it concludes, Andrew Cowan, thanks for coming. Now please have a drink of wine and buy some books. I'm really tempted just to leave it. No. He's right, all is marvellous. The first anthology was 20 years ago. We're not sure, it may have been 19 years ago. This may be the 19th anthology, it may be the 20th, it may be the 21st, we're not sure. The first one was called Unthank, and it was introduced by Rose Tremaine, and it had 9 students. Those 9 students were all doing prose fiction. At that time, there was only the one strand. This anthology has 45 students representing 4 strands, and I realised that several of you will be joining one of those 4 strands this year. And 12 months from now, several of you will be preparing to read to next year's intake on the 4 strands. Just as last year, most of our readers this evening would have been in the audience listening to readers from the previous year's intake of students. And so it goes on every year. The students in the anthology read to the students who are joining us, who the following year will be in the anthology reading to the students who join us. So there's this sense of continuity on the longest running creative writing course in the country. It's 38 years old. And there are 2 other continuities. One of them is the quality of the writing, the quality of the work in here, the quality of the reading, the quality of the readers. And the other continuity is the sense of excitement that we feel as tutors in anticipation of the new intake joining us, and then the sense of privilege and pleasure that we feel in being part of your development as writers over the 12 years. And then at the end of that, the sense of pride we all feel on an evening like this, an occasion like this, which is the culmination of those 12 years of 12 years. It feels like 12 years. Those 12 weeks of being with us. And so my final thanks are to last year's students, who were, as they often are, a joy to teach and to know, to hang out with. We're going to replicate something of that continuity of handing over one generation to another generation. In the organising of the reading from now on, I'll step down now, and what will happen is that the first person to come up will read for 5 minutes, and then as they depart, they'll introduce the next person to come up, and so on, until we get to the end, when I'll come back up, having remembered someone else I meant to thank, and must put top of the list next year.